under the local law that authorized the earlier version of 485A. We aren't seeking to.
So you're saying, was he given a notice of a denial and why he was denied? I'm unclear on why the
It was boilerplate.
Not
And I know
denial.
he did recertify, which we appreciate. I think it came in late, and we weren't, I think with some property owners, we were able to have that conversation. I think we got this, received December 29th, so tough time to have a full conversation. So I think
Yeah.
he probably just got a boilerplate denial letter.
But the concerns expressed by the governor when he wanted to ratchet back the changes in 2020 with respect to vacant land apply with even more force to this. He was concerned about projects underway, their financing and other things. When you try to apply something retroactively, it has an even more devastating effect than something that's in process.
We're completely in agreement with that, and I really do want to emphasize that your policy observation that it's best to leave these things vague and then refine them as time goes on, I think is spot on. I think the initial law was flawed, but in an environment where we've got five-story row buildings
Right.
totally vacant from street level up, it was best to cut the market loose, see what we could do, and then go back and fix things. And we certainly wouldn't want to mistreat anybody who took advantage of that. But this is, it just, and I don't want to mischaracterize your and Ann's and Mary's visit, but it just doesn't pass the smell test, and I don't think it ever has from the city's perspective.
Well, the city commissioner who approved the exemption at the time inspected the property and approved the exemption. We now have a lease. It's not with the same entity, but it is paying more rent, not less rent, more.
And who is that lease? Who is the renter?
The renter, it is it's an acronym. KGBLL.
Yeah, and
Which
who is
it-
that? What
that
is
is,
that?
and the entity I think that owns the Kimberly. And it was, when it was not safe to be there, they would have their meetings and plans in this, is what I understand, and speaking to the
And
owner's
is the
representative.
owner of the Kimberly affiliated with the owner of
Yes,
the Geddes?
there are common, there is some commonality there, and so while one might argue that it's not arm's length, I think there was a case that Judge Greenwood decided involving Tops, where he said that's not the end of the discussion. The issue is whether the rent is market or not. And given that the rent was higher with the new tenant than the prior tenant, I think it passes that test as well.
I think, well, both are factors. Market rent isn't dispositive either. I think both are factors to be taken into. I agree that certainly whether it's arm's length is also not dispositive, but all are factors that can be considered if we're talking about the same case.
I don't know, I guess I would have
Yeah,
to look at
I'd
it
be
again.
happy to review too.
But I think sometimes what happens, people say it's not arm's length, so we can't consider it. And I
No.
think Greenwood said, yes, you
We
can.
certainly
It's
can
whether
consider
it's
it, I agree. But,
market.
All right, well, this is complicated, and we definitely, did you want to say something?
Just think, looks like they're renting from themselves.
Well, that was my, that's why I wanted to know.
I don't know if there's a specific part of the law that addresses that.
In 20,
Statutory, no.
Is silent
But the
on
case
it.
law is, I think, I kind of feel it's on our side, but again, I should go look.
because I think I go back to this legislative history. They enacted a vague statute. Commissioner Clifford approved it. Assessors across the upstate New York have approved various exemptions and have taken criticism for it, but it was because of a vague statute.
With all due deference to Commissioner Clifford, I mean, we're reviewing these de novo every year, and are not bound by his 2019 decision, however it might have been made, and however we perceive that he perceived it.
That is possible because there is no provision in the prior law that provides either for certification or review. And that was one of the big complaints, that there was no way to check up on these properties. But you cannot penalize somebody who applied, got their financing under the old statutory scheme for new provisions this year, or in 2021.
All right, I think let's hold it there at this stage, and, but appreciate the argument, and anything you want to submit that you think might be helpful to us would be advisable.
I'm happy to leave all of there were the initial law and then several amendments. This is all of the legislative history.
That's good, because this'll, we have to dig into this. Okay, and you have another property here, 317 dash, we'll be right with you, and sorry for the delay.
I'll be quick.
Well, no, we want to make sure we do it right here. 317-19 South Salina Street. Let me just get the application. Okay, once again, 317-19 South Salina Street. This is not an exemption issue, okay? And,
Also 485A, but
right,
value
okay.
not exemption.
Okay, very good. And so we have a current tentative assessed value of $1,174,000 with a land value of $146,800. That would be a market value of $1,878,400. 1,878,400. Okay. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $900,000 with a equatable assessed value of $562,500. And I just want to make a note here. Okay, I think I can turn it over to you.
So this property is mixed use. It sits between Bank Alley and Salina. There are about 12 apartments. There had been a shoe store on the commercial space, about 5,000 of the 26,000 square feet. I think it was a shoe store. It left, but that was after the taxable status date. No, I'm sorry, it was in May of 2023. We've attached 3 years' worth of income and expenses. When I run it for the NOI, I tried to stabilize, use it 3 years. I'm coming up with about 142,600 or so for an NOI. Reserves would have to be taken from that. And then when you know, I realize people can differ on cap rates. You would add a tax factor, but you would also have to deduct something for FF&E because these are apartments. So our value comes in closer to the 1.1, 1.2 range, which is less than the equalized fair market value here of 1.8, I believe. 1.878.
And that information looks like it's in here
Yes.
that you submitted. Okay.
Yeah, certainly the shoe store leaving has not helped matters. And the precipitating event that probably tipped the balance for the shoe store, not renewing its lease, that is 2020 Michigas, that has a lot of vacant storefronts in the 300 block, has not made the future look bright for this property. It is in the last year of the 12-year 485A. Haven't had a full chance to digest Debbie's numbers. We were sort of leaning on the sales comparison approach for this just because so many of these properties, and for an apples-to-apples comparison, not 485A properties have conveyed in recent years, with values ranging from $87 a square foot full market to 113. We're at $69.99 a square foot equalized full market. What little I saw of the rent roll, I don't want to do a disservice to any of the tenants there. It seems like a lot of the contract rents are well below market, which probably lends credence to your argument, Debbie, that the NOI isn't as robust as might support our numbers, but nonetheless was surprised to see that. But based on market data, we've got $70 a square foot for a 5-story row building with 12 two-bedroom apartments, regardless of the state of the ground floor retail, is pretty reasonable.
My only comment to that is courts have said that for income-producing property, the income approach is the preferred approach. And because then you're dealing with actuals, not having to adjust for comparability. And if I may, just one final comment on our last one that I did want, because I know a photo was submitted. My recollection is that there was a photo in the file, I think, from when Commissioner Clifford did approve the property. I would just ask that that be made part of the record too, because I'm not sure there's
We must have one someplace. I've seen one.
much difference. So if you're looking at that, I would ask that that be part of the record
Get that
as
to the
well.
board, and board can get you a copy, or we can get you a copy too, Debbie.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, yeah, that'd be good, see what that's all about. All right, did Dave Clifford walk through the property?
Yes.
He
And
walked.
I think Tom might have too.
Yeah, I didn't, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, in 18, maybe 19 or 18 or 19.
okay, when it was granted,
Yes. Yep.
okay.
Around the time they got their C of O.
Okay. All right, very good. Thank you very much.
you very much.
Appreciate you coming in.
See you,
and,
Deb.
Are you headed downstairs
Yes,
with
is that all right?
bankers boxes?
Yeah. Okay, just leave it there. Stamped in.
Yeah, and
Kate's
Michelle
there.
will get a hearing scheduled next. We'll just slip it in someday. It'll be a full day, but we'll make sure
Okay, thank you
Andrew
very
gets hers. Yeah. A tiny home. Debbie's bringing down. So if we could check my schedule, maybe the Fins Management Day. Yeah, the nonprofit day's got, or maybe Norm Day.
Not normally.
Not okay. Let's check
There's
my
no-
Have to be railroad or
railroad days. Check my schedule. Really should be. Thanks.
How are you? Good, good. You're here for 3 properties.
yes, 3 tax parcels, but we review them as comprising one property.
Okay, all right. So I should read them all in at the same time then?
Yes,
Okay.
I think that's the best way to go about it.
Okay, all right, very good. So if you could raise your right hand, I'm going to swear you in. If you could raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
Olha Holly.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, if you can just pull that a little closer as far as the mic is concerned.
Michael.
Yeah, that would be great. When the green light goes on, then you're...
Okay.
And so let me first find these. James, and James. Okay, right here. So, no particular order that I read them in then, just read them in all together.
Yes,
Okay. So I'll go with what's on the paper here. This will be 5, 6, and 7 for us. Okay. Let me read all 3 in then, and then we'll take it from there. First one is 2449-59 James Street. Just want to locate the petition, which I have. Okay. So once again, we have 2449-59 James Street. Did I already read these in, or? No. I got, looks like my writing on here.
Oh, they were rescheduled. So
Okay. So we did, okay, all right, fair enough. So this is a commercial building, and current tentative assessed value, $500,000, with a land value of $102,000. That would be a market value of $800,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $400,000, which would be an assessed value of $250,000. Okay. Then we have 2433 James Street. This is a commercial building. Current tentative assessed value, $144,000, with a land value of $25,200. That would be a market value of $230,400. And the petitioner believes the fair market value is $115,200, which would be an assessed value of $72,000. Last property. It's a commercial building. Current tentative assessed value, $1,304,000, with a land value of $146,600. That would be an assessed value, I'm sorry, a market value of $2,086,400. And the petitioner believes the fair market value is $1,043,200, which would be an assessed value of $652,000. Okay. And where are obviously 2400 block of, and that is even, are these Pomco? Pomco, yeah, okay. All right, so I know where you are.
And the reasons why we have decided to file an appeal is because the current tenant has vacated the properties, and they've been trying to sublease it for some time now without a lot of success. They're still remaining a couple of years on the lease, so they are paying the lease, and in the meantime, they're trying to sublet the property. Based on our analysis and given the overall environment in the office market world, we think that a reduction is warranted. I believe we have supplied the capitalization analysis.
Let me just interrupt you for a second. So you're saying that the current, the tenant that was there is not there anymore.
Correct.
The property is vacant.
Yes.
However, they're still paying the lease that the monies that they were paying when they were there.
Because they have still remaining years under the contract, so they're trying to sublease the property,
Okay.
and it's vacant currently.
Okay.
So we think that, it's one of the issues is that relatively high tax bill deters potential tenants who can sublease the property and occupy the space rather than leave the space vacant.
So the tenant pays the taxes?
Yes, it was a triple net lease originally, and it covered more than the parcels that we have filed appeals on. It covered more like 10 parcels. So we provided
Including the parking lots and?
yes.
Okay.
And some of the parcels, they also were buildings. Yes, it was a strategic decision to file just on those three because perhaps those are the ones that are having the most difficulty being subleased. I mean, none of them have been subleased at all. And the copy of the lease agreement, actually an abstract that we have supplied, it covers all the parcels, not just the three that we filed on an appeal for. So the numbers that you see on the lease abstract is for all the parcels combined.
Okay, all right. Ann, any thoughts?
I guess the main thing is that the lease is being covered till the fall of 2027. In the folder from the previous, our comps, as far as per square footage, currently they're at $52, $40 for the other two buildings. There's sales in there anywhere from $81, $75, a couple right on James Street for $128 a square foot. So as far as, selling price. So we're very comfortable with where we are, and especially since there's still money coming in, even though the properties are vacant.
Right, and this wasn't an increase or anything, it's just
No.
they took it upon themselves based on this current situation with the property being
You can,
vacant.
that's my, but there are comp sheets in there.
It can be marketing tool for this current tenant that is trying to sublease the property that, look, we've just lowered the bill, even if it's not a huge reduction, something more like a shave than a haircut, just to say that the taxes are lower, so maybe, because I don't think it benefits anyone having vacant office buildings sitting.
No, that's true, but it sounds like that prior tenant, where are they now?
They just chose to, because offices, nobody comes to work anymore.
Well, you said the key word, though, they chose to move.
It was, they chose because they didn't need the space. And they cannot find anyone who needs the space.
Sure.
If I can just ask, are they asking currently, what are they asking per square foot to rent it? Is it what they're receiving now, or is it lower?
Anything really, of course, they cannot, I'm not sure, there is a bottom, but they're very negotiable. Very negotiable, and I understand that they're sort of, at the time when the lease was signed, the market was totally different. It was 10 years ago, before COVID. Office market was in a totally different
Sure.
stage when, I don't think I need to, repeat the common theme these days in the real estate world, that office spaces are struggling. Because I know, like in our office, pretty much, I'm the only one who comes in, because people just love to work from home.
Yeah, no, that's very true. It just, I guess, it is what it is. They could have delayed their move, I guess, for a year or two, too. Because now they're paying wherever they are plus this place. So I get it, but
They hope. I'm sure maybe they will succeed at some point. I'm not doubt it will be at the rate that they had. First of all, they leased it, so they had a good deal to begin with, because they leased a number of parcels. Now they're trying to at least piece it out, lease it by building by building. Maybe they'll find a tenant. Basically, that's the gist of our deal. And we used the cap rate that we used is 8%, which is on par with Newmark report from July of 2023, where it's class, characterized as class C, class B office building, using even $13 rent. At least on that basis, the original tenant, because of the you know, the large space that they did. Now that they will have multiple tenants, perhaps, I think it's an easier way to lease it, to have several tenants occupying the space.
Well, it's a bit, you know, they, when did they do the outside of the buildings? 6, 7 years ago? More than that? Yeah.
Dave, I believe Dave went through, I thought, but not with you. So, I know Dave went through back, a while back, but I never was in the.
Anything else you want to add?
I would like to thank you for your time, and I hope that you will consider our claim that having vacant spaces
Okay. Annie, anything you want to add? We've got some comps here, and we've got, did you want to submit anything else?
I think everything we have sent the copies to you. But,
Well, I don't think we have anything
okay,
as
I
extensive
I
as
have
what you
extra
have there.
copies. Okay. These are, okay, good thing I printed extra copies.
Yeah, if they're extra, it
Yeah, sure.
would be good, yeah, because you know, we basically have the application and a few
Yeah,
things.
this is a lease and cover sheet,
Okay, good.
as well as the current. This is copy of the petitions, which you have that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think that'll be helpful then. That'll give us some nuts and bolts. So this is the actual lease of the
Yeah, the lease
the
abstract,
prior occupied tenant.
for the prior tenant, correct.
Okay, all right, very good. Yeah, no, that'll be helpful. Okay, well, thank you
Have a
very
good
much
day.
for coming in, and the city will send 3 separate notices first week of April.
Okay, and this will be-
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Which one's those?
South Salina. 319, 25, 27, 29.
Can you just hang on? Oh, you're here, okay.
Could we read in Tom's and Joe's first? So we can
Oh, okay. No, we're gonna assume no show
get out of it?
for Tom. I know.
Tom is there?
No, I mean, the petitioner,
Oh, well, let's,
are they here?
oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's right. I'm here for Salina Emerald and the North Salina Street property.
So do you wanna do Ludington and Willis first? If they're here?
There aren't.
Oh, they're not
I'm
here.
sorry, guys. Their attorney's not here yet. All right, Tom, are you and Joe cool to hang?
Okay. Yes, yes. Okay. You good with these 3 then?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's okay. You're here for 3 properties.
31925 Salina Street, and the other one was 327-329 South Salina Street.
Okay.
My firm wanted to make you aware that the client doesn't have standing in that case, and we're no.
We just swear you in, and then
Okay,
we'll
sure.
get it on the record. I do have 3 separate files, but we'll get into that in a minute. Okay, if you could just raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
Michael Spellman,
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, very good. All right, so so I'm assuming these are 3 separate scenarios, or no?
327-329 is one together, and we are not going to be pursuing that. We're going to be withdrawing our grievance on that
All right.
application.
All right, so we'll get to
So
that.
those two
and-
are together.
Okay, no problem. Why don't we take care of 319-25 North Salina Street, and then we'll get into the other one. I just want to find it here, okay. So once again, 319-25 North Salina Street. That'll be number 8 for us. Okay, let me just read it into the record, and then we'll see what the situation is here. Okay, once again, 319-25 North Salina Street. Is this a commercial building?
It's a mixed-use property.
Mixed use, okay. We have a current tentative assessed value of $1,350,000 with a land value of $60,000. That would be a market value of $2,160,000. Okay, now. I've got it crossed out, but I believe that the petitioner believes the market value is $523,256.
That was on the grievance application. My colleague's settlement proposal letter that you guys should have received says the indicated assessment should be 685,000.
Market value,
Yes.
okay. 685,000.
Oh, assessment, sorry. The indicated market value should be 1,096,148. And I have copies for those.
Yes. Can you repeat the assessed value?
The indicated assessment would be 685,093.
That would equate to a market value of what?
1,096,148.
Just give me 1 second to correct a couple things here. Okay, very good. You said this was a mixed-use or is a mixed-use building. Let me turn it over to you.
So it's a 4-story mixed-use building comprising of 25 dwelling units and 5 commercial units that are located on the first and the ground floor. The total square footage of the building is 30,474 square feet. As far as the dwelling units, the most recent rent roll indicates 4 vacancies, 3 evictions, and 1 unit that is dedicated to the super. And then for the 5 commercial units, 4 are filled, but there is 1 vacant unit.
Okay. And do you have anything you want to submit?
We have various rent rolls and the settlement letter that my colleague had provided. If you would like copies of that, I can distribute those.
When you say settlement letter, what exactly does that mean?
Well, that was his proposal. That's what he,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
his proposal.
Yes, that's his proposal, sorry.
Okay, so it's not a settlement.
No, it's not.
Okay. Okay. So he did some more figuring after the application was submitted.
Yes, and then once the client had submitted more financial information.
Okay. Matt?
Yeah, obviously not privy to the rent roll. We've got a general understanding of asking rent. Obviously, that's not necessarily the same as contract rent. Comfortable with the value there. Property was purchased for $1.5 million in 2018. Neighborhood certainly hasn't seen the appreciation that the adjacent downtown neighborhood or other adjacent neighborhoods have, but residential has been so strong. We've got 26 apartments. Minor discrepancy there.
Yeah, 26, that's why.
Oh, I'm sorry, and one's a non-rev
One's the
unit,
super.
the super, so,
Yes.
okay, there you go,
That's
that
right.
makes, that accounts for that discrepancy. 10-1, 16 twos, twos are in high demand. Market rents in that neighborhood are still over $1,000 a month for twos, so we believe that supports where we've come in on value.
I would like just to highlight one thing. My client has expressed some concerns about the residential area and the surrounding area. He has had conversations with his clients and prospective purchasers of the property, and there is a support and addiction center located near the apartment building. And based on his conversations with the tenants, there's been concerns about attracting foot traffic to the convenience stores located below. There's been conversations about the tenants from the mental health and addiction center gaining access to the building and causing disruptions for the tenants living in that
How long has
building.
the addiction center been there?
I am not aware of how long the addiction center has been there.
Been there prior to 2018?
I would have to double check that, but,
I would like to know that.
okay.
Because if it's there before 2018, then the owner purchased it with knowing that was there.
Okay. I will find that out information for you.
And also paid 1.5 million.
Well, that was, that was in 2018, the adverse implications of COVID-19, that value back in 2018 might not currently reflect what the value is today.
Get a bank mortgage.
He does, yes, I could supply a copy of that for you if you would like.
What's class of property? And first off,
Thank you.
yeah, I don't want to do a disservice to Helio by naming them by name, but that's who we're talking about, obviously. And that's a real source of angst for certainly any investor in the neighborhood. But that said, even with that externality over there, apartment, it's a mixed-use property, but residential, multifamily in general, is not a property class, even in the most disadvantaged neighborhoods in the city, where we've seen any depreciation since COVID. This is strong everywhere. Rents are up preposterous amount in some areas of the city.
You know how long Helio's been there?
I don't. So.
Another thing that I would like to point out is that the parking situation for the building is not desirable, I guess you could say. The neighboring lot definitely has more access to parking and other amenities. Of course, you have access to various metro platforms, but at the same time, I think it would be more beneficial if property had more parking to it to attract the vacancies. And I think that's adversely
Well, that's
diminished.
true, but I'm sure he knew that when he paid 1.5 million to it. That didn't change.
I think it's well situated compared to its peers too. I mean, Nettleton's 2 blocks away, and Nettleton does have a quasi-fenced lot. I think their rents probably reflect that. But just 2 blocks to the south, virtually no converted row buildings downtown have on-site parking. So, it might be a bonus for a tenant who demands that kind of amenity, but I think by no means does it mean it suffers from a below-market value.
I don't, but,
Point
well
understood,
taken.
yeah.
And, okay, all right, fair enough.
I would just also like to add that there is buildings across the street from my client's property, and they appear abandoned and vacant at the moment. But the client does believe that Helio's Health Center is in the process of purchasing them. He does not know that exact timeline, but at the moment,
They are fee owners, yeah. Helio's held them vacant for, gosh, they were at grievance here 2 years ago, seeking to partially demolish them and construct some kind of an HR or training facility. I don't know where they are with that. I think, I don't know where the owner is located. I think it's terrific that they have invested on this block and aren't supplying a steady stream of humans who cause problems or maintaining vacant buildings. So I think that's worth saying.
I would agree with that. Anything else you want to add?
I think just going back to the concerns with the foot traffic and his reluctance for prospective individuals to incentivize to move in the area because of the addiction center is something that's of central importance to the client.
Matt, anything you want to add?
No, thanks. I think,
Got some comps that you submitted.
yeah. Looking 53 a square foot full market per unit, you know, even backing out the commercial space. Recognize this is not apples to apples because I'm talking about assessed value now. It's a little under 52 a unit. It's a well-positioned building. There's no doubt that every characterization made about the neighbors probably causes some consternation. But it's a great location, one block outside of downtown. Residential is as hot as could be in the midst of a housing crisis. So we're confident in the value. I think the market data reflect that.
Is the owner local?
The owner is from Long Island, but he has property.
He has other property here, or
Not that I'm aware of. He's from Long Island.
domiciled in Long Island?
Yes.
Then there's a superintendent that takes care of the building,
I believe so.
and that person takes care of the rentals and all that good stuff.
To my knowledge, yes.
That's neither here nor there. I was just curious if there was an outside rental company that was, no, just the superintendent. Good.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else you want to add? All right. Well, thank you very much for coming in, and you submitted some good information. I'm sorry. Thank you for motioning without talking. You can just slap me next time, and that'll get the same effect.
Good to know.
So you're okay with everything on 3/19/25 as far as submission?
Yes. The client is still in the process of gathering leases and additional financials, but we will forward that on arrival.
Okay, so as far as that's concerned, we will need that by next Friday. Is that the last day of, okay, so we accept information up until the last day of hearings, so roughly at, by noon on Friday, March 1st would be the deadline. So that, and anything that, he can submit would be helpful. Okay, so now I have two files for 327 and 329 North Salina Street, I would assume. Is it one building? What?
It is one file from my office, but
Let me read them in,
Minus-
and I know what direction
Okay.
you're going in, but let me just get it on the record before you state that.
I'm sorry, just backing us up to the last one.
Yeah.
The board will provide us a copy of the rent roll, I think, if that's okay with everybody, for 3/19/25.
I have copies of the.
Oh, you even do, and you're
Yes.
okay
Yeah,
just
if you have
passing that
copies,
directly to us?
Okay.
We would just like to review these. I mean, if the numbers tell a different story than our understanding of market data, we'd reach out to you directly and have a discussion.
Okay. So you'll let us know either way.
Yeah, we
then
we
what
just
your
have,
thoughts are.
this exists just kind of in a funny gray area between sales data and income data. Just where it is in the chasm between downtown and Little Italy, characteristics reflecting both neighborhoods. This helps refine our view, and we're way off. We'd love to chat.
Okay, so
Sorry.
that's good,
Back to it.
good and positive. Then you'll,
And we'll give the board a heads up to any conversations that are taking place.
okay, let me just note that then. Okay, let me just read both of these in, even though they're one scenario. We have 327 North Salina Street. This is this a mixed use?
The only information I have on this property that my associate wanted to relay is that we are no longer filing on this property.
All right,
So
then
there's nothing to submit.
Okay, fair enough. So let me just read in some numbers then. Just because we want to do it properly. So 327 North Salina Street, current tentative assessed value 300, is it south? Okay, it just says Salina, so,
It is South Salina.
okay, I'm sorry about that. And John, thank you. 327 South Salina Street, current tentative assessed value of 377,000 with a land value of 132,000. That would be a market value of 603,200. 603,200. Petitioner believes the fair market value is 146,124. And that would be an assessed value of 91,327.50. Okay, and then I'll just read in 329 South Salina Street. We have a current tentative assessed value of $360,000 with a land value of $132,000. That would be a market value of $576,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $139,535, which would be an assessed value of $87,209. Okay, I turn it over to you.
For these respective properties, these two lots, my firm wanted to acknowledge that we are no longer filing on these properties, and therefore there is nothing to submit. We will be withdrawing the grievance applications.
So you're going to withdraw the both grievance applications of 327 and 329 South Salina Street.
Correct.
Okay. Anything you would like to add, Matt?
Yes, I'm sorry. I mean, no, thanks. That helps. Our Assistant Corporation Counsel would love to grab you on your way out the door just to discuss pending litigation. Thanks.
Okay, so this
So
was
this
under,
has been in litigation for 4 years, maybe?
okay, that sounds good. And so is that John Black he's going to see? Okay, then thank you very much for that. And as far as 319-25, we'll get into the information you submitted, and then the city will send a notice on first week of April. As far as the two that are withdrawn, do you send a notice also acknowledging, or?
Yeah, it is a separate notice, I believe.
Okay, so that'll be, two separate notices will be forthcoming there. Okay, thank you so much for coming in. All together, okay. All right, John, all set. Okay, we've got 207 Luddington. How are you? Good, thanks. Let's see. First of all, you got 4 properties. Is there any order that you'd like to read them in?
No, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. All right, we'll go in the order that they are on the sheet. So we'll start off, I'm going to swear you in, but we'll start off with 207 Luddington. And that'll be number 11 for us. if you could raise your right hand. Joe, I'll swear you in too, if that's okay. State your name for the record.
Trevor Duffy?
Joseph Lesno?
You both swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So let's start off with 207 Luddington Street. This is a commercial apartment building, it appears. We have a current tentative assessed value of $174,900. Joe, do you have the land value on that by chance?
16,200.
16,200. Okay. And that would be an equatable market value of 279,840. 279,840. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $150,000. That would be an assessed value of $93,750. And let's just see if we have any information. Flipping through, pretty basic.
Yeah, I'd like to fill you in a little bit on that. I just took this over on Wednesday. This client just came to us after this initial filing was made. I do have some supplemental docs to provide you today. On each of these, I'm going to revise our request. On this one, I'd like to revise our request upwards to $205,000. This property was purchased in the middle of 2023 for
All right,
that
so,
price.
all right, so hold, so the market value, 205,000.
Yep, which in assessed value is $128,125.
All right, 128,125. Assessed value, 205,000 market value. And what I'd like to do, if you don't mind, is just have you initial, just down below here, I changed those two figures. And, give me 1 second here. Okay, that was 205. And 128, 125. Okay, and you submitted a statement of sale. It was purchased for 205.
There's a purchase contract behind that as well, and some rent rolls. Unfortunately, since they only owned it for half of 23, they couldn't get me any financials. They have nothing ready for 23 yet. But there are a couple rent rolls in there, and yeah, that's basically everything I could get on the notice that I had on this case. It's 6 one-bedroom apartments in this.
6 one-bedroom apartment.
Correct. Yeah, so I think that's part of the reason for the lower unit value.
And was this an increase?
It was increased last year as part of a neighborhood review.
Okay, last year. Okay, so they're coming in based on maybe purchase price, but go ahead.
I mean, that's the full extent of it. They purchased it, and I think that purchase price represents the market value as a taxable valuation date. Interest rates only got worse. Probably could argue for lower, in my opinion, but we're gonna just request the recent purchase price.
Okay, Joe?
Was this property listed on the open market? How long was it for sale, do you know?
I don't have that full information, but it was publicly listed, and the buyer is out of town as well.
Yeah, as far as the comps, you know, there's, to be honest with you, the information I have suggests the assessment's probably still relatively low compared to what things are selling for. I'm not familiar with the sale exactly, but I was wondering if it was the conditions of the sale. But, you know, things over in Eastwood are anywhere from 50 to 60,000 a unit. This is assessed as a $46,000 per unit property.
Okay, and this was part of, I thought maybe, but this was part of is this an allocation?
Yes, 3 of the 4 I'm here on today were on this purchase contract, and they were all purchased below the assessable market.
Yeah, this was part of a purchase of 320 North Midler, 207 Ludington, subject property, and 907 and a half Willis Ave. Okay, all right, so we'll have to dig into the purchase. Joe, anything else you want to add or submit?
I just met my comps.
So on these here, then, probably should stay with this North Midler and Willis, okay.
I have additional copies of every contract,
Yeah.
so you can.
Okay, that's good, and, but from a read-in standpoint, I'm gonna just take care of South Ave last. Okay, then let's go to 907 and a half Willis Ave. And let me read that in. And then we'll go from there. Okay, so this is an apartment building as well. Looks like the current tentative assessed value is $558,000. Joe, do you have a land value on this?
Yes.
Okay. Not critical, but
Don't want to share coffee cups.
is the music gonna play
Yes.
yet, or?
Some kind of Friday.
Yeah, and Tom's gonna get up here in a second.
Well, all right then. Beautiful.
905 and a half Willis.
907.
Let's do something else. Let's do,
Get the music going here, will you, please?
Land value is 36.1 assessed.
Okay, so market value wise, that would be 892.8. Do we want to revise these numbers?
Yes.
Okay. How about market value?
$710,000.
$710,000. And then, do you have the assessed value on that?
443,750.
43,750. Thank you very much for that. And I didn't check, I assume you're authorized to present for these owners?
Yes, I have my authorization I can share with you in my file, but we were
Is
just,
this your signature?
no, that is the attorney that we're replacing.
Okay, I definitely need that. If you need us to make a copy, we will, but if not, we'll take what you have.
Can I give you one copy to cover all 4 of these properties?
Yes.
Okay, let me just.
Do you want separate in each file? Should we make copies?
Sounds like a hard yes.
Okay,
Somebody can, yeah.
Somebody-
get
we can
copies
make a
made
copy.
ultimately.
John said he can.
okay, that'd be great.
So all the entities of the owners are listed on there, and I'm an attorney at Wolfgang and Lyman.
Okay, yeah, we could just have
So you work with Peter?
4.
I do.
Good. Tell him we say hi.
I'm sure you miss him.
He's a good one.
You could just initial down there on those changes. And then I'll make some changes here. So we've got assessed value 443,750. And then 710,000. Okay. So that's the allocated price here for this one here, part of that contract that is in the first property. So,
Here's a updated packet of information that's identical to the previous with the closing statement, rent rolls, all the good stuff.
okay, that sounds good. And the 710 is the allocated purchase of that property. Okay. Matt, is there anything you want to add?
Like a few other grievances this year, we reassessed this neighborhood in its entirety this year. This is a block with 75 properties on it. All were reassessed, 69 were changed. I think most of those changes were increases. This particular property doesn't appear to have been reassessed, at least has not been increased since 2011. We increased it 14% for 2024. Don't, I think at our fingertips, have a rent roll or have any contract rents, but based on market rents, the immediate neighborhood, one bedrooms go from $850 to $1,000 a month. We think, if anything, we might be a little light on this one, but again, in the absence of contract rents, we'd rather be conservative than heavy-handed. And we've also got some sales data that we've provided to the board showing generally similarly sized apartment buildings. Again, none in this intermediate area and in the west end, but adjacent to Tip Hill. I think they support the value as well.
No, again, I'm just going to rely on the purchase price as being a great indicator of the market value of such a property.
I do think we at least classified this as a non-arm's length sale. I don't at my fingertips have rationale for that. Certainly, we submit sales reports periodically, and that is subject to reconsideration, but at this time, I believe we don't think that's an arm's length transaction.
And so I'm assuming the other two are non-arm's length as well.
I'm sorry, which?
Well, this was part of,
The entirety of
You're all
these.
the same deal for these first three parcels.
I do have specifics on 127 South Avenue. All the others, no.
okay. Well, what we were discussing was Willis.
Yeah. On Willis, no.
Oh, okay. All right, fair
I
enough.
think the Seventh Ward assessor certainly did see that 5217, did some research, marked it non-arm's length. Why, I don't know right now.
And
Or
that's
sorry,
South-
sorry,
that's
marked
South
it.
Ave.
No, that's Willis.
Oh,
Mark,
Willis.
mark that non-arm's length.
Okay.
South, I have a little more background on, and we can get to that when we get there.
Okay.
I confirmed with my client it was arm's length. I think on 5217, the paralegal checked other. And I think that's what led to the conclusion fairly that
Yeah.
it was an arm's length. But
Yeah, if it
this
got,
investor group is from like Vegas and Buffalo. It's a group, so I don't think there's any relation.
okay, yeah,
Just to
if it got
clarify.
condition I'd on the front end, that certainly would have sent our staff down, finding reasons to buttress rather than contradict that.
Yeah, that little checkbox is a bane of our existence.
Our staff spend
Us
countless
too.
tens of hours on that, yeah.
Okay, let's move on to 320 North Midler, which again was part of this
Your channel?
deal of the three properties. This is an apartment building as well. Current tentative assessed value, $575,000. Do we have a land value on this by chance?
$41,000.
41,000. I do, actually. Thank you for that. If you could raise your right hand, Tom. State your name for the record.
Thomas Johnson.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, thank you. Once again, 320 North Midler Avenue, current tentative assessed value, $575,000 with a land value of $41,000. Again, this is an apartment building. And that would be a market value of 920,000. Did you want to make changes on these numbers?
Yes, we want to request what the purchase price was 885,000.
885.
553,125 in assessed value.
And I'll just have you initial, if you would.
Here's the packet.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Got, in each file is your designation, so we're all set there. And let me just make some changes on this here if I could. 553, 125. And 885. That's your submission, Tom. Anything you want to add?
I reviewed the entire area, and when I went out there initially, I left the assessment alone. The property has been reassessed since 2008. However, when I became aware of the sale of 885, our equalization rate subsequently dropped to 62.5, and it would entitle to the petitioner to a $22,000 reduction to an assessed value of 553.
You're recommending to go down to 553,000?
Yeah, that would be based on using the 885 and our equalization rate rounded. I'm not going to get into $125 increment.
Are you allowed to go lower than what they're requesting?
We can recommend it to the board, and it's up to the board to decide if they want to add that $125 onto the assessed value.
I'm just
But,
trying to stay
no,
within the,
no, we can,
so just so I understand, you're recommending 553,000.
for kindler and gentler department.
Okay. 553,000.
And I know that you guys like us round numbers too.
And that's assessed value.
Right.
Okay, so for the record, the assessor's recommending 553,000 assessed value, and you're at 553, 125, so we'll take it from there. And I assume you don't have anything else to add then?
No, it's unusually 23 one-bedroom apartments only in that building. Found unusual.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good. We've got city-submitted comps based on that. And I just want to look at one thing. Okay. And then the last property, not part of that three-property deal, is 127 South Ave. And this is a commercial apartment building. Okay. We've got 127 South Ave, commercial apartment building, current tentative assessed value of $710,000. Do we have a land value on that?
20,200.
20,200. That would be a market value of $1,136,000. Are you changing numbers here?
Yes,
Okay. Market value,
775,000.
775,000. And assessed value,
484,375.
184,375. Okay, I'll just have you initial that if I could. Thank you. Okay, thank you. And let me just make some quick changes on that. 484, 375, and 775. Okay, Matt, anything,
So this one was purchased from buyers who did not know each other, did not have business together legitimately in that regard in '21. But it was a distressed vacant property. It had been closed by 2 years by order of Syracuse Police under the nuisance abatement ordinance. So we think that purchase price does not represent market value. It's 31 studio units. It's of decent construction. It is certainly of an era. But rents are what they are. The property is probably worth a bit more than our equalized full market right now. We're at 710. Backup napkin, I think we could add more than 10% to that. But we're very confident in the value on this one. Rents back that up. And we've got sales comps from similarly positioned buildings in and around the neighborhood that are just selling for very high unit prices. We've got an 8-unit on Midland right there that we got a deed for last week, 77,000 a unit. Right on down West Onondaga, the building directly across the street sold an 18 for a little under 38 a unit. Again, that was right on the cusp of when rent started to increase dramatically. Another one in the 600 block sold for 38 a unit the year after. 1,000 Bellevue sold for 48 a unit. No matter where they're positioned, rents are high, and properties like this, when they do hit the market, sell for a lot of money.
anything you want to add to that?
First, the rents are not high. The rents on this are from $500 to $625.
That's market for again, studio. Many of these don't even have full
I
kitchens.
wouldn't consider
I'm
500
sorry,
high
but-
in
but-
today's world, but I just wanted to put that out there. I think, on this one, I was able to provide an 8825 because they have owned it long enough where they actually had a full year of numbers I could provide you guys. What happened to it? Maybe it didn't get properly copied, let me check that. But I think when they purchased this property, they purchased it with the intent of obviously filling it and getting market rents in there. So we do think maybe it has appreciated. It is worth more now that it's filled, but I don't think it's worth the assessed value based on the rents that we see. It is exclusively, one bedrooms, 31 one-bedroom apartments.
Studios even.
So there's no bedroom.
I've been in every unit in the building. Yeah. And not all have the same quality of kitchenette, neither prior to or based on the permits we've seen since the conveyance. Some, I believe, just have a hot plate and a sink and a fridge. Some have more of
That might explain
a four-burner stove.
the $125 delta between some 500 and some 600.
Yeah,
Okay, so, points well taken. Anything else you want to submit? You said something about,
Yeah, I had a 8825, but I think I got in a rhythm putting together these packets, and I didn't attach it to this.
if you want
So,
to, that would be helpful if you want to submit it,
Yeah, I did want to submit it, but let me double check, because I think I double-sided these, so it might have snuck in here somewhere. I guess I'll have to follow up with a submission.
Okay. You can get it to us by next Friday, by noon, that would be
Sure.
very good. And then we'll put it in the file for 127 South Ave. Okay, well, that sounds good. We'll look for that, and then the city will send out 4 separate notices first week of April.
Would it be possible to revise where those notices will be sent? Because we changed the representation. I don't know what the best way to.
Yeah, I think that's okay. It certainly seems feasible, if it's permissible, absolutely.
I mean, it's probably fine.
Take
They'll-
those 4 files and give them to Michelle, and have Michelle update, and then you can put it in the spreadsheet.
Okay, that sounds good, we can do that.
They don't always make it to us, believe it or not. They get sent to the client or to you.
Okay, thank you. Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate everything. We'll look for that tax form, and again, we'll send it to the correct address. City will, first week of April.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. How are you? 123 Marshall and 113 Marshall. Good, how are you? Good. All right, I'm going to swear you in. I just got to find them here, and, okay, I found them. Is there any particular order you want to go in?
No.
Okay.
Whichever you prefer.
All right, well, we'll go with what's on the sheet here, which we'll start off with 123 Marshall. That'll be number 15 for us. Okay, if I could have you raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
Nicholas Troya?
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we'll start off with 123 Marshall Street. Again, number 15 for us. This is a commercial building. Let's see here, let me just find it. Current tentative assessed value of $560,000 with a land value of $145,000. That would be a market value of $896,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $140,000. That would be an assessed value of $87,500. And once again, commercial building. And that's about all I have. I'll turn it over to you.
Nothing to add. We're just waiting for information from the client to update us. Just have the home search, that's all.
You're waiting for what?
There's some information that they're waiting for from the client, but everything else should be
Oh, okay. So we're waiting for information from the client?
When is that gonna happen, do you know?
Okay, well, it needs to get here by next Friday at noon.
Can I ask if in there is a, where it says, is the property being currently offered for sale? Is that filled out in there?
I did look, it's not filled out. Do we know anything about that?
I'm not sure everything that I know would be included on here. They just don't make
Who owns this property?
I'm not certain.
David Jacobs?
Oh, Dave Jacob. Is this where his place is? His,
No, this is, the Shirt World and the T-shirt.
is or no?
Yes, oh, I thought you meant, okay, yes,
Yes.
this is, they're two properties, yes.
Gotcha. All right, so I just needed to know where, okay. Okay. And let me just look at one other thing here. there's no designation of, it's signed by somebody that scribbled, but regardless, nothing filled in on who's supposed to be presenting here.
Yeah, we need. Do you have that?
Authorization form? It's
Yes.
attached to the package.
Oh, it's attached to this?
Yes.
Okay, let me take a look. I'm sorry. I was looking at the application. Okay. You're from Lit Law Group?
It's my previous firm, yes. I'm just bringing-
Take a look at this. This is the, nothing filled out as far as that's concerned. And actually, I do have a copy of what you're holding here, but just want to make sure you're authorized to appear. But you're no longer affiliated with the Lit Law Firm?
No, I go to law school up here in Syracuse, so back in Ohio. I was not told that. I'm sorry. So they need an attorney to, okay. I was not told that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it sounds like, so you're going to law school up at SU.
Yes,
Good for you.
and I worked at the Lit Law Group during undergrad when I was back home.
What, an internship or something?
It's like a paralegal role while I was there, like part-time while I was an undergrad, and then for the summer after I was post-grad, for the summer, and then all that.
Okay, so Lit Law Group is still representing the Jacobs, but no, as far as I'm concerned, they needed to send an attorney from their firm, right?
I will tell them that.
What's that?
Or Mr. Jacobs.
Or Mr. Jacobs, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so, we've got that on the record, if you will. You didn't do anything wrong, it's just, we have to follow procedure, and,
course.
and you were doing what you were told, but that probably was not good information.
I'll be sure to let them know.
Yes. All right, so I guess, just, do we get some, is it up to us whether we allow them to appear?
We're gonna move to dismiss.
You're going to move to
With-
dismiss based on the fact that
No.
authorized representative did not come to the hearing. Okay.
I
And
will submit comparable sales in the fact that there is a statement in there about how it's being offered for sale, so that's,
Oh, it is being offered for sale? Okay.
there is no amount on there, though, that I could find.
All right, we'll take a look. We'll take a look. A lot of information. I'm assuming the same case is for this other property, but I've got to read it in, and so I got to hold you hostage for a minute.
No problem. Take your time.
But, okay, we're done with this one then for now. So the city
Move
is
to dismiss
recommending that it be
both.
dismissed
On non,
based on the non-appearance of an authorized party.
correct.
Okay, just so that's on the record. Okay, so let me read in 113 Marshall Street. This is a commercial building, and this is number 16 on our list. $310,000 current tentative assessed value with a land value of $92,800. That would be a market value of 496,000. And the petitioner believes the fair market value is 77,500. And that would be an assessed value of 48,437. And then let me just flip through again here. Nothing as far as purchase price or anything as far as the application is concerned. Same signature, but nothing filled in as far as authorization. But on the next page is the same authorization regarding this lit law group on behalf of David Jacobs. All right, so you have something you want to submit.
Same as the last, just the authorization form and the,
Okay, same as before, and the city.
Again, we're gonna ask that it be dismissed because it's not properly filled out without representation.
Okay, and is there anything you wanted to submit, or is that?
It's
with
kind
that
of,
there?
it's kind of a package deal, more
I
or less.
understand. Okay, so just so we're clear, the city is recommending that the application be dismissed for non-authorization of petitioner not being present today, okay? So if you want to pass that along, we will take everything into consideration, and then the city will send a couple of notices based on our decision, first week of April. It'll go to, I guess, the lit law group and so on and so forth. You know, it just, it doesn't appear that you're authorized to be here, and although we appreciate you coming, we'll act accordingly.
thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
guys.
Good luck at school. What year are you in? Second year. What is it? Is it 2 years? 3 years? Good for you. Did you go undergrad there? Okay, excellent. Well, good luck to you. All right, thank you for coming in. All right, so we got those. Is there anything, do you have Sunrise? All right. Okay, before that,
Oh, this one, go.
The last ones.
okay.
That's Sunrise, and
Yeah, thank
then
you. This is great.
these are
And the other
the
one you
top
asked
ones. Sunrise is just one that's getting read in because it
Oh.
wasn't read in the other day.
Got it, okay.
Right, exactly.
And then these are the first ones that we put on the agenda.
And then what about the Jamesville?
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
They're not here yet, so I'm just having him read these.
Oh, got it.
into the-
Oh, you want me to read in these other ones too?
Yeah, and we'll let you know what's going on with those.
What are these, the Wilson Farms? Yeah, I remember that. Do you want me to wait until the end, just in case they show up?
John, the, Benderson stuff's not, they're not appearing at all. Okay, so I'll just, you can do it now if you want. Yeah,
Okay, I can
they're
read
not
them in.
coming.
Okay. Okay, so it's okay that they're not here, we're just gonna read them in. Okay. All right, fair enough. So, I'm gonna read in, 121 Sunrise Drive. Just to clarify, this one here, they were scheduled on February 6th. They didn't make it, but they reached out and said they wanted to reschedule. Okay. So 121 Sunrise Drive, they were scheduled for a hearing on February 6th. They did not show up, but while we were up here, they had left a message that they wanted to reschedule. Secretary reached out, left voicemails on February 6th and February 8th. And to date, we have not heard back from the petitioner. We are reading this in today because we thought it was going to be rescheduled and therefore did not read it in on the 6th. 121 Sunrise Drive, I have current tentative, does anybody have that sheet where I can get some numbers by chance? Yeah, if you would, I have a current tentative assessed value of 63,000. Not critical, but we probably don't have a land value, Ann? Okay. That's, no, land, and that's fine. What's the market value on that? 100,800. Okay. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $50,000, and that would be an assessed value of $31,250. And I'll see if I can pick something. It's just the application in here. It does say it was purchased for $99,000, but there is no date of purchase in the application. And then that is about it. And we have some names in here, designation, but no signature or anything, so the application form is incomplete also. With that, city have anything they want to add? No.
We will ask that it be dismissed.
Okay. And so the city's asked that it be dismissed based on no one showing up for the original hearing of the 6th and no contact. Okay.
Are we given that a number?
No, we'll just go off of the 6th. We'll go back to that sheet. Now, these are Benderson properties next up at the top of the list. So I think we'll read them in the order that they appear. Number 17, for our purposes, 1931-33 South Ave. Okay. We have a current tentative assessed value of $293,878, land value of $160,000. That would be a market value of $470,205. So we have a market value of $200,000, and it says 2024-25 assessment to be $250,000 as per attached stipulation and order of settlement. So we'll defer to what's in here as far as that's concerned. And I just want to fill in what we have for market value from the petitioner, 200,000. And these are the old Wilson Farm buildings and so on and so forth. Okay, then next up we have 2430-50 James Street. Again, commercial building, current tentative assessed value $259,521, with a land value of $223,200. That would be a market value of $415,234. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $125,000. And this has been stipulated as well. And we have 2922-28 East Genesee Street. Current tentative, commercial building, current tentative assessed value of $580,000 with a land value of $67,300. That would be a market value of $928,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $400,000. And I don't have anything written on here, but I assume it's part of the stipulation.
Do we know?
Do we have the vendors in all of them? Because that one doesn't help. If,
All right. It'd probably be good to get the amount, but
Okay.
I don't think we have one for 2922-28 East Genesee so far.
I'll get those to you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, next up, 1900 Grant Boulevard. Commercial building. Current tentative assessed value, $1,208,000 with a land value of $277,825. That would be a market value of $1,932,800. $1,932,800. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $400,000. This one here too, though, we do not have the stipulated figure. And that'll take care of that. And then last one of these would be number 21 on our list, which is 800 Van Rensselaer Street. This is a vacant commercial building or lot. Looks like building, probably. Oh, it is a vacant lot. Okay, yep, okay. Thank you for that. Current tentative assessed value, $1,200,000 with a land value of $1,200,000. That would be a market value of $1,920,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $859,060. $859,060. And this one here, excuse me, is nothing on there as far as. So McKesson Corporation, is this,
It's part, they're all,
they're all part of?
Yes.
Okay,
so all 5 of these properties have been settled. We're just waiting for them to go in front of the Common Council for final approval. So, but we will get you those amounts.
okay. Maybe all 5, but there's 2.
I'll verify the other couple figure numbers.
Yeah, that's great. And, okay, and then we took care of Sunrise also. And so now are we waiting for somebody? All right, well, I would say, you know, I'm okay to wait till noon if that is okay with everybody.
Do you?
Just, is that okay? If anybody has to leave, so be it. But let's give it till noon. This way, you know.
They don't show up when you can read them.
Do you want to go down and see if you got a message?
See, yeah, it'd probably be a good idea. Oh, there's a lot
I'll
of
go
them.
down, because I'll check the I'll go too, because I'll check the assessment, and then you can check yours. And then we'll let you know if,
Yeah, I would say, why don't we, yeah, we won't wait until noon based on that. If there's anything left message-wise, great. If not, we'll get into reading them in. Thank you. Anybody, before I pour, does anybody want coffee? No, you sure? Run to the rest. We have, it says probably 10
Same person now?
I'd be willing. Different areas and what have you, but, So bottom line is they're definitely not coming today, nor it doesn't sound like they want to reschedule for next week.
Okay.
Okay, and this is obviously many different properties, but the same petitioner, if you will, or?
Yes, the first, two are, I don't think, owned by all of
Okay.
technically different apartment buildings, but technically.
So I think what I'm going to, so, but it's all of these, well, I guess, did I read them in separately? Yeah. Maybe 438 and 428 Jamesville,
Yeah, that's.
Together.
Yes,
and then everything else separately.
yes, that's fine.
Sounds about right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm basically going to, okay. So this, this petitioner was scheduled to come in at 11:30 this morning. It's now 11:55. However, the secretary, Michelle, did speak with the petitioner's representative. We believe that they're representing the property owners. Regardless, they're not planning on coming today nor while we're in session through March 1st. So I'm going to go ahead and read each property in, and then we'll hear from the city. Okay, so let's go with, we'll go with what order is on the sheet. What are we up to, 22? 22? Okay. So this is 438 Jamesville Ave. It's number 22 for our purposes. We have a current tentative assessed value of $5,070,000 with a land value of $218,300. That'd be a market value of $8,112,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $3,507,073, which would be an assessed value of $2,191,921, rounded up. I'm going to read in, so I do have a purchase price of $3,507,073 on 7/14 of 2023 on the application. And then we have some other material in here. Okay, which doesn't look like much other than another application. Let me also read in with this property, 428 Jamesville Ave. Okay, I have 420. I have 428 on the folder and application, and then 420 on the sheet. Is it 428?
What was the previous one?
438. 438.
Ooh, I believe it's 420 is what we carry. So I'm
Okay.
going to go with
Okay.
with us, 420.
Okay. So we've got 420 Jamesville Ave. current tentative assessed value of $2,880,000 with a land value of $98,300. That would be a market value of $4,608,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $1,992,183. The assessed value is $1,245,114.375, rounded down. Okay, and then this one here, we have a purchase price of $1,992,183 on 7/14 of 23 as well. So it sounds like it was part of a package purchase, and the city has some information.
We're going to request that this be dismissed with prejudice due to no one here to represent.
Okay. And just for my purposes, is that going to be the case with all of them?
With all of them,
Which
yes.
will repeat, but for my, so that's going to be dismissed with prejudice. Just to clarify, with prejudice means that they, what?
Cannot, we're asking that they cannot reschedule.
Okay, so that's what with prejudice means in this instance.
Correct.
That the city's asking for them to be dismissed with prejudice, meaning if they do decide that they wanted to try to reschedule, it'll be up to us to hear or not. Okay, us as being the board. Okay, next property is 600 James Street. And let me just get to a application. You know, you'd think that the secretary would have these files in order, but, you know. Jeez.
She makes us say she's got to have some fun.
That's right. Just kidding there. I want to make it home. Okay, so 600 James Street. This is a commercial, and actually, if I could go back, what were the other two properties there? The apartment buildings?
Yes.
On Jamesville Ave? Okay. And so 600 James Street, current tentative assessed value of $2,200,000 with a land value of $70,000. That would be a market value of $3,520,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $2,589,561, which would be an assessed value of $1,618,475.625, rounded up to 476. You want to say something about this, or?
Again, the city's requesting that this be dismissed with prejudice due to non-representation.
Shall I just read the rest of these in, and we don't necessarily have to repeat that? Okay. That will apply to all the properties that are going to be read in for the rest of this session. Okay, so 308 North McBride Street. This is a parking lot. Current tentative assessed value of $60,000 with a land value of $60,000. That would be a market value of 96,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $93,023, which would be a assessed value of $58,139. Next property is 923 James Street. Current tentative assessed value, $1,560,000 with a land value of $145,300. That would be a market value of $2,496,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $2,362,145, which would be an assessed value of $1,476,341. Next property, 132 Highland Avenue. Highland Avenue. This is vacant land, and the current tentative assessed value is $2,500 with a land value of $2,500. That would be a market value of $4,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $3,785.49, which would be a assessed value of $2,365, rounded up to $2,366. Next one is 941-47 James Street. This is multi-unit apartments. Current tentative assessment, $2,400,000 with a land value of $315,100. That would be an assessed market value of $3,840,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $3,634,069. That would equate to a assessed value of $2,271,293. Okay, 753 James Street. This is a commercial multi-unit apartment building. Current tentative assessed value, $8,850,000 with a land value of $850,000. That would be a market value of $14,160,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $12,196,494. Which would be an assessed value of $7,622,809. 807-09 Lodi Street. This is a vacant land, piece of property. we have current tentative assessed value 17,900, land value 17,900. That would be a market value of $28,640.
If you want to notice for the record, this appears that the petitioner would like you to raise their assessment, if you look at the numbers.
I do.
So I'm not sure, just bringing that to your attention.
Okay, no, thank you for that. And the petitioner believes the fair market value is $28,837.47, and that is a little bit higher than the equated market value that the city has. And that would be an assessed value of $18,023. Okay. And then lastly, as far as this submission is concerned, is 805 Lodi Street. This is vacant land as well. The current tentative assessed value is $20,925 with a land value of $20,925. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $28,837, and the equatable market value here is to the city's assessed value is $33,480. Again, petitioner's market value $28,837 with a assessed value of $18,023. And one last comment.
Yep, this, again, the city's requesting with prejudice that every one of these cases be dismissed due to no representation for hearings.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you for adding that. Michelle, that's it for today. So if I could make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, have a good weekend, everyone.